let's talk about multiplying by 9. So when we multiply by 9, the first thing we need to understand is the relationship between 10 and 9, because we are actually going to use what we know about 10 in order to solve a 9's multiplication fact. So I want to show you this on the Rec and Rec first, which is one of my very favorite math tools. So let's suppose that we are going to multiply 10 times 8, 10 groups of 8. So we have one group, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, so do you see that we have 10 groups of 8 here? There's 8 in each group, and we have 10 groups going down. Now, what would we do if we wanted to figure out, actually, we should figure out the answer first. So what is 10 times 8? It is 80. Now, what would we do if we wanted to figure out 9 groups of 8, or 9 times 8? Do you think that we should put these all back and start from scratch again? Or is there an easy way to make 9 times 8 from what we have here on the Rec and Rec? So one way that I can think of is just to subtract one group of 8, right? So we had 10 groups of 8. Now we only want 9 groups of 8, so we'll just take away one group of 8. And now we are left with 9 groups of 8. So to figure out the product or the answer to 9 times 8, we can take what we know about 10 times 8 and just subtract one group of 8. So what is 80 subtract 8? That is 72. Okay, let's look at one more. So let's figure out 9 times 4. So to do this, let's use our Rec and Rec again. Let's start with 10 times 4. And we can show this like this. We have 10 groups of 4. So what we're focusing on is the beads on the left-hand side. And you can see that we have 10 groups, and there are 4 in each group. Now, what's the total? How many beads do we have altogether in 10 groups of 4? So what is 10 times 4? That is 40. Now to figure out 9 times 4, if I wanted to show 9 times 4 on the Rec and Rec, should I put all the beads back and start from scratch again? Or is there an easy way that I can do this from where I am right now? So I think what I could do is just take away one group of 4. So I had 10 groups, but I only want 9 groups, so I'll just take away one group of 4, and now I'm left with 9 groups of 4. So that tells me that all I have to do to figure out the product of 9 times 4 is just take away one group of 4 from 10 times 4. So what is 40 subtract 4? That is 36. So this is a really good strategy for the 9's facts. What we want to do is we want to think about what we know about 10 and then just take away one group. So let's go through the facts. 9 times 1, we could use that strategy, or we could just use what we know about multiplying by 1. Let's use what we know about multiplying by 1 to know that 9 times 1 is 9. 9 times 2. So 9 times 2, let's think about 10 times 2. That makes 20. And then we will subtract one group of 2 to make 18. Because we only wanted 9 groups of 2, not 10 groups of 2. 9 times 3. Let's start with 10 groups of 3, which makes 30. And then let's take away one group of 3, because we only want 9 groups, not 10 groups. So 30, take away 3 is 27. 9 times 4. Let's start with 10 times 4 to make 40, and take away a group of 4 to make 36. 9 times 5, we'll start with 10 groups of 5 to make 50, and take away a group of 5 to make 45. 9 times 6, let's start with 10 groups of 6 to make 60, and then we'll take away a group of 6 to make 54. 9 times 7, we'll start with 10 times 7 to make 70 and take away a group of 7 to make 63. 9 times 8, we'll start with 10 times 8 to make 80 and take away a group of 8 to make 72. 9 times 9, we could start with 10 times 9, which gives us 90, and then we'll take away a group of 9 to give us 81. And for the very last one, 10 times 9, for this one, you probably already know what 10 times 9 equals, and that is 90, because that's 10 groups of 9. All right, so I hope this strategy helps you. And again, this is just one strategy, one multiplication strategy that you can have on hand for solving 9s. Maybe you already know some of these facts without even needing to use a strategy, and that's wonderful, but it's always important to have strategies for backup for if you forget a fact. You want to know why something